Hello, everyone. Today we're going to discuss another interesting topic, and this is travel hacks that you should know.
Yeah.
Exploring places which you haven't gone to, local or international, is a pastime that hundreds of millions of people embark to. For families, travel is very precious because it's the only time wherein they can really bond and be close to each other. That said, with all the benefits of travel come some stressors that can impede on the travel experience for just about anyone. But you don't have to let those ruin your vacation. Today, we will take a look at several travel hacks that will make your vacation more productive, comfortable, fun, and stress-free. So let's start. I'll start with tip number one. Pack light and as much as possible, don't check any bags. Most people overpack. There are tons of guides that guide us on how to pack light. There is the rolling clothes military style. Another would be using mix and match basics, bringing lightweight fabrics, or putting your clothes in cubes. It's okay naman to wear the same t-shirt in a week. Take half of the clothes you think you will need. You won't need as much as you think. Write down a list of essentials, cut it in half, and pack that. If you can avoid checking a bag, then do it. You'll not only be able to bypass all those guys who have to wait forever for their luggage, but you'll fly through customs, be able to grab a cab before the line gets out of control, and generally move around quickly throughout your entire trip. Also, rather than folding your clothes when you're packing, try rolling them up in little tubes. This will save you a ton of space and stop creases and wrinkles. Now, when it comes to little things like socks, handkerchief, or even undies, you can stuff them inside your shoes to save more space. So pack light and pack smart. Now we go to number two. Remember in number one, I stated that as much as possible, pack light and as much as possible, don't check in bags. If you really need to check in your bags, mark your checked baggage as fragile. This should not only ensure that your bag gets handled with care, but also it's got a prime spot in the cargo section of the plane. Meaning, your bag is one of the first bags on the baggage claim belt, and you're off to your cab to your final destination. Jackpot! Now we go to tip number three. Email yourself all important documents such as your passport and your travel itinerary. The last thing that you want to happen on your trip is to get your things stolen. While your clothes, camera, money are all your high-valued priority items, the top of your list is your identity. It's very difficult to replace or recover things that have been stolen if you do not have any proper ID. So first things first, email yourself a copy of your passport, your driver's license, and any documents with reservation numbers on them. So at least you're covered when there is a bag snatching scenario. It will save you time and massive headaches if you can prove you are who you say you are and you know when and where you need to be. Many travelers take a snapshot of their passport and put it on their phone. Now I must say, this is very risky. Your phone is among the most likely item to get lost or stolen right away. And then your scanned passport is not only useless to you, but it's going to be very useful to the bad guy. But if you save it to an email address that you can access anywhere, you can get it anywhere. Your hotel, a police station, your embassy office, anywhere. It's going to be very easy now for you. More so if your passport gets stolen, having a copy will come in handy for your police report. It's also worth taking to get a screenshot of all your travel confirmations and itinerary. If you've booked any flights, buses, trains, or even cruises, whether laptop or tablet, make sure you screenshot them while you have your Wi-Fi or internet access so you can access them when you're no longer connected. We go to number four. Notify your bank and credit card companies that you're going to travel. You'd be surprised, but a lot of people are not doing this. Either they're not aware of this or they just forget to do this. This is very important. Example, you're in the US, okay? You live in the US and you travel to Japan. You're doing all your shopping. Let's say you're eating your lunch in a restaurant and then you pay your bill. Your credit card company knows that you're in the US, and then there is someone charging their bill in Japan. So what will they do? So they will reject the transaction. So you're there in Japan. How can you pay your bill? The credit card just rejected the transaction because they're just protecting you. They know that you're in the US and they think that somebody is just hacking your account from Japan. So it's best to inform your credit card company whenever you travel. So while we're at it, bring extra cash. Good for 2 to 3 days, at least to cover your essentials for 2 to 4 days. Also, another tip is try to memorize your credit card number. I know it's going to be hard, but try to memorize it. This is not only useful for traveling, but also when making purchase online. Now we go to number 5. Create an email folder solely for your trip. Organizing a trip can be a very long process, particularly if you are a down to the last detail planner. Create an e-folder and email your trips, your confirmations, your new schedules, or any document that concerns your trip. You can even take a screenshot of each email on your phone. This way you get easy access to all information, your confirmation numbers, your record locators, your frequent flyer numbers, your credit card numbers, names and addresses, all in one place. So you don't have to spend time going through your inbox when it's go time. By the way, if you're interested in the topics that I've been discussing in this channel, I'd like to invite you to subscribe. Just click the bell button, click the all, so that you will be notified every time I post a new video. We go to number 6, pack a small first aid kit. Depending where you're traveling, you can save a lot of time and pain by packing a small, do-it-yourself first aid kit. At the minimum, bring paracetamol, aspirin, antihistamine for allergies, some stomach antacids, and most importantly, medicines for upset stomach. You can also add cotton swabs, iodine, and Band-Aids. These basics are hard to find, especially if you're in a foreign country and you don't speak the language. It's very hard to do a mime for this. So if you have all these, you'll feel prepared. Number 7, stuff some plastic grocery bags into your suitcase. This is an old trick, but it's super simple and very handy. Now, let's say you're waiting for that t-shirt to dry, or you have a sneaker full of sand. Then just throw it in the bag. I also love to use plastic bags to cover my camera, my laptop, or even my shoes that I'm wearing, especially when there is an unexpected downpour. So these bags are very useful. Plus, you have an extra laundry bag. So pack those plastic bags. We go to number 8, compartmentalize your suitcase with collapsible cloth boxes. Sometimes when we have long vacation, we hop to different places. And of course, when we do that, we pack, we unpack, we pack, we unpack again. Chances are with all these, your luggage will look like a tornado. So the solution? Get some small collapsible cloth boxes. Then you've got an easy compartmentalized system inside your luggage. You've got a small box for toiletries, you've got a small box for underwear, you've got a small box for makeup. All of these things. So now your suitcase will look very organized and you're going to be stress-free. We go to number 9, pack an empty water bottle in your carry-on. You're not allowed to bring liquids throughout the security area, but you can bring an extra water bottle. After the standard security check, fill it up from a clean water fountain or a water dispenser to prevent spending money during the flight. You can use it to refill water in places where tap water is safe to drink. These are in Canada, Singapore, New Zealand, Iceland, Spain. Number 10, use ATM or your credit cards instead of money changers. Avoid money changers, especially in airports when you're going to get local money. Not only do they have very high exchange rates, but they have very pricey service charge. Most likely, your bank has better and more reasonable exchange rates than money changers and other independent vendors. If you have any questions, suggestions, or tips you want to add, feel free to put your comments below. Number 11, this is just very short. Take pictures of your luggage and your clothes. If your luggage gets lost, this will help identify it more easily and speed up the process of having your travel insurance reimburse you. Number 12, carry emergency cash. While we live in a cashless world, it is very essential to carry some currency for the local market, cab fares, and even tips. Plus, because emergencies happen, Like, for example, you're looking for an ATM and you needed money for the bus to the hotel. So what happens if you don't have any money? I usually try to keep $100 to $200 in small bills in case something happens. Number 13, get travel insurance. Travel insurance is the most important thing that you want to get that you never want to use. If something goes wrong, you don't want to spend a lot of dollars. Travel insurance is very important when you're robbed, when your flight is canceled, when your suitcase is lost, when you get sick or injured, or if you're sent home. Travel insurance can be very comprehensive and one of the best investments you can get for a trip. So make sure if you're going to travel, make sure to get a travel insurance. We go to number 14. Get good shoes and choose your shoes wisely. When we travel, we walk a lot, diba? So be nice to your feet. Love them as much as they love you, and they're going to bring you to amazing places. Now, when you pack, not more than 3 pairs each, huh? 1 pair for comfortable walking, 1 pair for everyday chic, and 1 pair for looking your best. Now, a smart trick is wear the heaviest pair when you're on the plane. This will save you a lot of luggage weight. We go to number 15. Set up Google Maps to work offline. This one is such a time saver. While in the city, not all have a Wi-Fi connection, which means you're going to find it impossible to access live Google Maps. Thankfully now, the latest version of Google Maps now allows you to save maps directly to your phone and call them up later to explore. There's also an app now, like Google Map. It's called map.me, M-E. This is free and it shows your location on the map. You can save locations, your hotel for example, which helps when you're returning on a bus from a different location later. It also shows walking tracks, so you can be confident that you're on the right track. We go to number 16. Grab a cab from the departure area. You just arrived and you saw a long queue of passengers waiting for a taxi in the arrival area. What will you do? Change your plan of attack. Skip the line and head over to the departure drop-off area and grab a cab from there. Since all cabs are dropping off people, they're either heading back to town or they might go to the arrival area and start queuing in the taxi line there. So if you are in the departure drop-off area, there wouldn't be any competition. And since there is no competition, you might be able to bargain a much lower rate. Obviously, this might not work on all airports. It depends on their terminal setup. But when it does, do it. We now go to 17. If your devices are USB able, you can charge these through the hotel's television. If you forgot to bring your adapter or your charger, don't fret because you can charge your device if it's a USB able through your hotel room television. If you don't know, most modern televisions have USB ports at the back. So you can just plug in and charge your devices such as your smartphones, laptops, tablets, iPods, as well as your point-and-shoot cameras. Number 18, get your own personal artificial intelligence tour guide. Having a problem finding a decent tour guide, or you think that tours are pricey, or you just want to avoid people while exploring the day. Now you have no problem. Simply install Google Googles with an S onto your phone and take photos as you explore. Every time you take a snapshot of a famous monument, your phone will fire back a lot of interesting information for you to read. Suddenly, you're going to be an expert in local customs, local culture, and history in no time. We now go to number 19. Use a currency converter app on your phone. When traveling, don't forget to download and install a currency converter app on your phone. An example of this app is XE Currency Exchange. Not only will it save you a great deal of time doing the mental math, but it will also save you from getting ripped off. Even if you do not have any data on your smartphones, most apps such as these will work off the conversion rates from the last time you were online, meaning you'll just be in the right ballpark. Now we go to the last. Number 20, avoid taxis. Earlier I said, when you arrive, you can get a cab from the departure area. Now I'm saying avoid taxis. Well, what I mean here is if you are already in the city center and you want to go back to your hotel or you want to go to any other destination, avoid taxis. Taxis are always expensive, especially if the driver knows that you're a tourist in the area. Most of the time, they won't run the meter, but they just tell you their contract rate. It's always best to take a tram or a bus when roaming the city. So again, never ever take a taxi unless it's really necessary. So these are the 20 very useful and very important travel hacks that you can use when you go on vacation or when you travel. Again, thank you very much for sharing your time. Maraming salamat po. Stay safe and ingat kayo always. Bye!